Good morning. So this is a deeply personal topic, although it's a universal one as well. I'm not used to sharing as much about myself in a group setting, but it's what this talk called for, so buckle up, it's going to be interesting. All right. I know it's kind of a bold thing to do, talking about grief in a room filled with people who likely have all their own experiences with grief, as if I have something new to impart. And I don't. I chose this topic because the passing of 2 siblings in 2 years turned me into a lump of clay, slapped me back onto the scrap pile, and directed me to reshape my life. And I might get a little messy emotionally up here today, but grief is messy, so I'm sure it will be relatable to those of you who are sitting with your own experiences with grief. The deeper I dove into this talk, the more apt the clay analogy became. Not just because my sister was a ceramic sculptor, but also because the writing process has been more about carving away the unnecessary to reveal the essential, rather than adding anything. My experience of living and grieving in this past year in particular has echoed this process, stripping away anything unnecessary in my life, leaving only what's essential. I've come to share my experience in the hope that it may open the door to more people having honest conversations about the grieving process. When we're freshly grieving the loss of a loved one, all artifice is dropped. We are raw and honest. It's a vulnerable place to be, the transit between life, death, and rebirth. It's a place where important conversations can take place. And death is every bit as sacred as life, but not spoken about nearly as often. People who haven't shared this experience likely won't even know how to talk about it. Here's something I've noticed after being on the receiving end of some draining conversations early on in the process. If you lost a loved one years ago, and someone else lost a loved one days ago, just listen to them. In a year, they'll be better equipped to hear your stories. For now, just let them talk about their person and their experience. Those who are unfamiliar with the grieving process will inevitably avoid you or say the worst thing possible. This doesn't have anything to do with you. Blame it on the grief or the fact that they're acting like a human equivalent of a wedgie. Totally up to you. It's perfectly acceptable in these situations to channel Sophia from the Golden Girls and just have no filter. Just allow yourself to express what you need to express. More people in the society need examples of raw, honest expression. We're dissuaded from it so often that it's refreshing when people see it. It can even be shocking when people see it or experience it. But it's a heart-opening thing. It's something that opens the floodgates for other people to do the same. And that's a catalyst for healing, or it can be. When my sister passed, people I barely knew were reaching out to get the dirt, details of her death and how she died. I know now that the next time I lose a loved one, I don't need to prioritize other people's desire for information over processing my own grief and supporting people in the immediate sphere of loss. This lesson about strengthening boundaries and prioritizing our own well-being continues to serve me well. Most people will give you about 2 weeks to grieve, so it's important to take all the time you need, regardless of anyone else's timeline. After the 2-week mark, you'll likely be expected to hit the ground running, as if your world wasn't just completely upended. Some people may disappear from your life completely, even those you believed were close friends. Most will be inclined to reach out less, not more, because they either don't know what to say, your grief reminds them of their own, or they're staying away until you're fun again. Hold on here. If you're lucky, a few bright stars will emerge, letting you know the profound difference a small circle of loving friends can make. And while nobody's bereavement process is identical, Afterwards, when you're in a position to help a grieving friend in need, you'll have an intimate understanding of how to show up for them. The solitude a receding tide of friends can bring might feel like a punishment, but it grants us the freedom to face our grief in ways that can transform our lives for the better. The solitude brings us closer to Source, where we're met with the empathy and compassion we crave. Everything we've known will fall away. Beautiful things will come again. And there will be a great silence between the leaving and the arriving, so we may find a deep foundation of peace within ourselves, allowing this peace to become a refuge in which to rest, regroup, and reclaim this precious life creates a space in which to meet the new self, reshaped by the sacred teacher that is grief. One morning, I woke up feeling comforted. Instead of saying, I've lost so many people close to me, I said, I have so much ancestral support. And I never grieved again. I'm kidding. Of course I grieved again. I also returned to the knowing that the unseen world is filled with love. And I'm comforted by it each time I return. Life has become more purposeful since the passing of my siblings. I'm more committed to living fully than I've ever been, for me and for them. I wrote down a few things I've learned throughout this process. If it's not literally life or death, it's not that serious. Sign your own permission slip and do the thing, whatever that means to you. Let go of feeling obligated to live a life others approve of. Take the trip. Get the tattoo. But only if you really, really want the tattoo. Tell people you love and appreciate them every chance you get. Lead with compassion. You never know when a conversation may be your last. Grief will teach you what's truly important to you. Grief will teach you who is truly important to you. You'll be handed a golden opportunity to make changes you didn't think you had the courage to make. You will receive reminders of your loved ones in songs, in memories, in butterflies, in visitations. When I went to Washington with my mom for my sister's celebration of life 2 weeks ago, my Aunt Anne laid a beautiful patchwork quilt on our laps that my grandmother had made out of old clothing from her children and other family members. She was more of the reckless Camaro driving, piss and vinegar variety than your traditional cookie baking grandma. But these quilts, made with beauty and care, illustrated the tenderness of her heart when it came to her loved ones. Grief is a patchwork quilt made from the clothing of my ancestors. When I miss them, I wrap it around me and can smell the fragrance of all the things they loved. Thank you for allowing me to share a piece of this quilt with you today. I'm going to invite everyone to get nice and comfortable in their seats. And place both feet evenly on Mother Earth, feeling the grounding support and sustenance of Mother Earth beginning to flow through your body. And taking a breath in to call your energy back to you from wherever you may have left it throughout the week. Breathing out, breathing through, sending love to any areas that are asking for a little ease, for a little love, for a little movement on the breath. Tuning in to the sound of the wind, the subtle sounds of the birds. Experiencing any bird sounds, any subtle sounds of wind or rustling leaves. as songs and support from your ancestors. Just allowing their loving presence to sit with you now. Breathing in deeply, opening your heart, opening your lungs, receiving compassion and unconditional love straight from Source. Feel your breath breathing you. Feel divine guidance holding you. Release any effort in the body and simply allow yourself to be held for a few moments. Sure.